big homie wanted to look like a gay painter.
If you thought the Jay-Z and 50 Cent story was finished, think again. Because this week, the internet exploded after what fans are calling the most uncomfortable footage hip-hop has seen in years. No press run. No damage control. Just raw tension and two legends who look like they'd rather be anywhere else. Jay-Z, 50 Cent. $2 billion brands built on dominance, control, and never backing down. And now, a clip that has fans asking questions nobody wants to answer. People online are already choosing sides. Some say it proves the beef never ended. Others swear something darker is happening behind the scenes.
Look, when Jay signed his contract, the big one was with Beyonce. When he signed that contract, the marriage contract, he got trophies. No, those trophies came rolling in, buddy.
And here's the real question. Backhand index pointing right, if you were in their position, same betrayal, same pressure, same cameras, what would you do? Because the internet couldn't believe what it saw, and trust me, you won't either. One comment said, "Bro said too much and they caught it on camera." Another wrote, "That silence told me everything." So let's slow it down. Let's rewind the history. And let's break this all the way down, because once you see how this really started, it gets ugly. Before the footage. Before the viral headlines. Before the whispers and conspiracy threads. There was a rivalry that never officially died.
Jay-Z told Dr. Dre, just for people who's not up on this, or Eminem, that he didn't want you to perform part of that Super Bowl that had a couple years.
Jay-Z and 50 Cent were never just competitors, they were opposites. One moved like a chess grandmaster. Quiet. Calculated. Corporate. The other? Loud. Reckless. Unapologetic. A walking pressure test for the industry. Back in the early 2000s, hip-hop wasn't just music, it was territory. And both men wanted the crown, just in very different ways. Jay-Z was building empires. Boardrooms. Partnerships. Legacy plays. 50 Cent was lighting fires. Diss tracks.
Why do you think that is?
Well, I just think,
Possibly.
not even threaten you. I think it's just when you take the competition from, like, our culture is competitive, man. It is, but I think when it goes past the music itself to blocking things in business, then I don't.
Street narratives. Shock value. And while they rarely attacked each other directly on record, the tension was always there, unspoken but obvious. Industry insiders used to whisper that meetings felt different when both names were mentioned in the same room. Like people were choosing seats carefully. Then came the comments. Little jabs in interviews. Side-eye moments at award shows. That look when one name got brought up unexpectedly. Nothing explosive. Just enough to let everyone know the air wasn't clean. And here's where it gets interesting.
I mean, Jay, you gotta remember, he didn't want 50 at the Super Bowl. That was crazy. Come on.
Wait, Jay didn't want 50 at the Super
You didn't know
Bowl?
that? Yeah, he didn't
Well,
want.
I remember Eminem pushed for it.
That was some hated. Yeah.
I remember
pushed for it,
Eminem
yeah.
was like, I'm not going to do it unless 50 does it.
Around the time 50 Cent started publicly questioning the industry's gatekeepers, fans noticed something strange. Certain doors closed. Certain invitations stopped coming. Coincidence? Or consequence? Online forums started circulating alleged screenshots, nothing confirmed, showing private group chats where executives warned artists to stay neutral. One message read,
When it goes past the music itself to blocking things in business, then I don't understand that. Like right now, he's not even competing for a slot. You don't have a new song out that he want to be on the top 10, the top 5, and you still competing. It don't make sense. Like, what are we competing for?
"This isn't a fight you want to be seen in." Another claimed, "Choose your alliances carefully. Longevity matters." Were these real? No one could prove it.
It's 50 cents.
There ain't never been no 50 Cent Jay-Z conversations, questioning whether there was a competition between the two. It's a huge difference. and energy internationally than 50 Cent and Jay-Z. In fact, his largest selling record sold 430-something thousand copies. My largest selling records, plural, 2 of them sold 5 million.
But the timing was suspicious. Fast forward a few years. 50 Cent leans harder into trolling. Jay-Z leans harder into silence. And silence, in this industry, is rarely accidental. Behind the scenes, blogs began hinting at a moment that never made headlines, an alleged private event where both men crossed paths without cameras. No photos. No videos. Just stories. One anonymous attendee later claimed. They didn't speak. But you could feel it. Like unfinished business. Still, nothing ever surfaced. Until now. Because what made this recent footage different wasn't yelling, or insults, or drama. It was body language. Fans replayed it frame by frame. Paused on eye contact. Zoomed in on hand movements. Slowed down the moment where conversation suddenly stopped. And that's when the theories started flying. Some viewers swear Jay-Z looked caught off guard. Others insist 50 Cent looked too calm, like someone who already knew what was coming. One viral tweet said, "That's not beef. That's history resurfacing." Another wrote, "Why does it feel like something was agreed on, then broken?" And suddenly, everyone was asking the same question. Backhand index pointing right, what happened off camera before this moment? Because legends don't look uncomfortable for no reason. Then a rumor surfaced. An alleged voice note, never verified, supposedly recorded years ago, where a familiar voice says, "I kept it quiet. Don't act like I didn't." No names mentioned. No context given. But the internet connected dots anyway. Was this about loyalty? Money? Power? Or something far more personal? What's undeniable is this: when the footage dropped, neither camp rushed to deny anything. No statements. No tweets. No explanations. Just silence. And in hip-hop, silence is never empty. Because right after that clip went viral, something else started circulating. Something fans weren't supposed to see. Something allegedly sent privately, then suddenly everywhere. And according to people close to the situation, that's where things truly went off the rails. But what came next, even his enemies didn't expect. Because once that clip went viral, the internet didn't just speculate, it started digging. And that's when a series of alleged screenshots began circulating in private discords, Reddit threads, and hip-hop blog inboxes. No watermarks. No sources. Just claims. Claims that there was more footage. Claims that what went viral was only a piece, not the full picture. One post, shared thousands of times before being deleted, read, "Y'all saw the clean version. The raw cut tells a different story." Then came the DMs. Allegedly leaked messages between unnamed insiders, hinting at a meeting that was never meant to be public. A meeting where tensions weren't managed by security or PR teams, just egos. One message claimed he thought it was squashed. Turns out, it wasn't. Another said nobody expected cameras that close. And suddenly, blogs started connecting dots that had been ignored for years. Old interviews resurfaced. Old quotes were replayed with new context. Moments that once felt harmless now looked loaded. Fans noticed how Jay-Z always avoided certain questions. How 50 Cent joked, but never fully laughed, when his name came up. And then a rumor hit that made everything louder. According to unverified chatter, a private recording exists, audio only, allegedly captured during a heated exchange years ago. Not leaked. Not confirmed. But talked about. One hip-hop page wrote, "If this ever drops, it rewrites everything." Of course, no one has heard it. No one can prove it exists. But the idea alone was enough. Because now the footage wasn't just awkward, it felt connected. Connected to silence. Connected to timing. connected to decisions that affected careers behind the scenes. Then came the reactions. Fans flooded comment sections. That wasn't a coincidence. You can't fake that energy. Somebody broke a deal. Industry insiders stayed quiet, but their silence spoke volumes. No clarifications. No denials. Just the occasional vague post about misinterpretation and internet narratives. And then, the sarcasm kicked in. One viral tweet read, "Nothing screams we're cool like standing 10 feet apart and not blinking." Another joked, "Billionaires hate cameras when they're not in control." But beneath the jokes, something darker was brewing. Because buried in one alleged message almost missed was a single line that changed the tone completely. This was supposed to stay private. Private. That word stuck. Private what? A conversation? An agreement? A warning? No one knew. But fans noticed something else too. After the footage went viral, movements shifted. Appearances were cancelled. Interviews were delayed. Energy changed. And right when people thought the story had peaked, a familiar name started trending alongside theirs. Not an enemy. Not a rival. Someone from the past. Someone who had been quiet for a very long time. And when that name entered the conversation, the narrative stopped being about tension and started sounding like fallout. Because if the rumors were even half true, then this wasn't just about old beef resurfacing. It was about consequences finally catching up. And just when everyone thought the worst had already leaked, another detail surfaced, one that pushed this story from uncomfortable to personal. And that's where everything begins to collapse. By the time the third name started trending, the tone completely changed. This wasn't gossip anymore. This was damage control. Fans noticed it first. Posts disappearing. Comments getting locked. Clips quietly removed, not flagged, not explained, just gone. And when silence spreads that fast, it usually means someone important picked up the phone. According to online chatter, people close to both camps began moving differently. Trusted voices went quiet. Inner circles tightened. One blog claimed, again, unverified, that an emergency meeting happened behind closed doors. No media. No notes. Just reputations on the table. And here's the thing nobody could ignore. Neither Jay-Z nor 50 Cent addressed the footage directly. No denial. No clarification. No, you got it wrong. Just distance. And distance can feel louder than any response. Fans started asking uncomfortable questions. Why now? Why this clip? Why this reaction? Some believed it was coincidence, a bad angle, a bad moment, blown out of proportion. Others weren't buying it. One viral comment read, "That's not fear. That's recognition." Another said, "You don't look like that unless you remember something." And maybe that's the hardest part of this story. Because legends aren't haunted by strangers, they're haunted by history. Rumors began circling about emotional strain. About pressure. About carrying narratives that were never meant to surface. One anonymous post claimed, he thought time erased it. Turns out it just waited. Again, no proof. No names. Just whispers. But then something unexpected happened. Instead of escalating, the story stalled. No follow-up leaks. No explosive confirmations. Almost like someone slammed the brakes. Which only made people more suspicious. Because in the age of non-stop content, silence feels intentional. And intentional silence usually protects something. Fans split into two camps. One side argued this was all internet imagination, a viral moment inflated by boredom and algorithms. The other believed the opposite. That this was the closest the public ever got to seeing behind the curtain. A moment where power slipped for just a second. And then the narrative shifted again. Instead of anger, people noticed something else in the footage. Regret. A long pause. A tight jaw. Eyes that didn't want to meet the lens. Not rage, reflection. Because maybe this wasn't about beef anymore. Maybe it was about realizing that some battles never really end, they just go quiet. And sometimes, when they resurface, they don't explode. They linger. A source close to the situation allegedly said, "Nobody won." That's the part nobody wants to admit. And that line stuck. Because for all the theories, all the takes, all the slow motion breakdowns, what the footage really showed was something rare in hip-hop mythology. Two untouchable figures realizing that legacy doesn't erase tension, it just makes it heavier. No one vanished. No careers ended overnight. But something shifted. A mood. A rhythm. An illusion. And maybe that's why this clip unsettled people so much. Not because of what was said, but because of what wasn't. Because some secrets don't need words. They just need one moment where the mask slips. And when it does, the internet never forgets. So the footage remains. The silence remains. And the questions remain. Because whatever really happened between Jay-Z and 50 Cent, it didn't disappear. It just went back underground. Waiting. And now that you've seen the full picture, ask yourself this. Was that moment just another viral clip? Or did we witness something far deeper, something that was never meant to surface? Because history doesn't disappear in hip-hop. It hides. It waits. And sometimes, it leaks through the cracks when no one's ready. The internet may move fast, but real tension moves slow. It builds quietly. Behind closed doors. Away from cameras until one moment changes everything. So what do you think? Was that footage just awkward timing, or proof that some stories were buried, not resolved? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because the real conversation starts there. We read everything. And trust me, some of the smartest theories come from you. And if you're new here, this channel isn't about surface-level headlines. We break down the moments they want you to scroll past. The pauses. The silences. The looks that say more than words ever could. So hit that subscribe button right now. Because this story? It's far from over. New details are surfacing. Clips are being analyzed. And insiders are paying attention. Turn on notifications, because when the next piece drops, you'll want to be here first. And remember, legends don't fall from scandals. They fall from what they try to hide. Stay sharp. Stay questioning. And we'll see you in the next one. Fire.